PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. If you don't mind today, let's have a discussion on what's going on in the U.S. automotive market. Right now, manufacturers are running about 15 million new cars that will be produced and sold in the United States, which is about a 2 million less than the normal push before COVID and before the chip shortage. So the demand for new cars has risen. It's funny to me that if you tell somebody not to buy something, and you say that long enough, there is a contingency of people that because you said don't do it, will do it. So it's funny, I drive around town and I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and I'm very focused on looking at cars. What people are driving, how the condition of the cars are. There's so many paper license plates. I mean, people are buying cars right now at a record pace for some people. Some people used to trade, every 3 to 7 years, and now they're trading cars more often. There's a lot of things that push the market that a lot of people don't think about. I started so long ago in the car business that the majority of vehicles driven in the United States were V8s. And so to move a customer from a V8 to a 6-cylinder car was almost impossible. I'm so far back that the majority of cars, when I first got into business, were rear-wheel drive cars. And to try to explain to somebody why they'd want to go from a rear-wheel drive to a front-wheel drive was almost impossible. Even though the handling characteristics in the car was safer, it took a while for people to make that the norm. Now we're moving into 4 cylinders. So we've got a 4Runner right now that has been, again, rejuvenated. I mean, the 4Runner demand is gigantic, both on the new vehicle side and the pre-owned and certified side. We will be moving to a 4Runner that will drop the V6 and go to a 4-cylinder turbo boost assisted. So there will be some people that don't want a 4-cylinder 4Runner. We can make the case that the 4Runner with a lighter engine and a higher performance and a higher torque production is going to be a much superior off-road vehicle than the V6, but the reality comes back to hit you sometimes. Most people don't buy a 4Runner to go off-road. So there will be a group of people that will not move into the next generation 4Runner, that will seek the older generations. I remember when we had the V8 4Runner and we went to the 6, and that V8 was a giant demand because we eliminated that option. So there'll be a lot of people that'll look and they'll start buying pre-owned. There is a group of people that pretty much have never bought a pre-owned vehicle. I understand the lure of a new vehicle. There's no issues. The car's brand new. There's a warranty coverage. You're protected in case something goes wrong with the car. And now, as of recent years, the first couple of years for any manufacturer now, they're covering your maintenance. So basically it's gas and go. And so the first 2 years you have a payment and then you don't have to pay for anything in service. And so it becomes more and more attractive to buy a new car if the new cars were available. Now most manufacturers are selling cars before they get to the dealership. Some cars, we've got Sequoia coming. It's starting to drop right now. All of these are sold. We've announced a soft announce of the new Crown. All of these vehicles are going to be sold. When the new Tacoma drops, when the new Prius drops, which is phenomenal, we've got all-wheel drive Corolla. All these cars are going to be pre-sold, and a lot of customers are going to move to pre-owned for the first time. So let's talk. On my chart over here, I've got the 160-point quality assurance check sheet. I really don't care what people say about this or what they don't say about this. If I was buying a pre-owned car, I'd want the functionality of the car to be as next to new as possible. If I really wanted to protect my family back years ago, I would ask the sales professional or the manager, is it okay if I take the vehicle and have somebody look at it? I've got a friend who's a mechanic, a technician, and a reputable dealership says, go ahead. We've already serviced the car. Go ahead and take it over. Now, the amount of time that my friend is going to look over the car, they're going to start the car, they're going to listen to the car. They may or may not drive the car, but they give it an okay, I come back and buy the car. If something was to happen to that car after my friend said it was okay to buy, do I have a legal standard Do they have a moral obligation to come back and go, hey man, I misled you. I guess this car had a bad transmission. So there's no guarantee, and there's nobody going to back what was said by my quote friend, the mechanic. So we've changed that with Toyota Certified. And why is certification on a car so important right now? Because there is a legal rule of order that the technicians and the management and the dealership have to follow, or the car can't be certified. And if it wasn't followed, then the customer has legal standard. This is the 160-point quality assurance check sheet. This is as far as I'm concerned, this is a full diagnostic. I mean, you could always do one more. I look at this and I start and I see all this. At the bottom is so powerful because the technician that actually certified the car signed this. Now there's 1,400 participating Toyota dealerships in the continental United States and Canada, which offer this certified program, the certified warranties and the certified protection. So that means virtually anywhere you drive in the United States or in the country of Canada that you can get help. And right now, like I said last week, with 2 zero deductible warranties, there's no money out of pocket if it's a warranty claim. So we are in a good shape with this because it's also signed off by the service director and the used car manager. So this makes this a very powerful document that the consumer possesses in the car. If they don't understand this, if they don't understand the requirements of this, then this is a piece of paper. That's all it is. Sometimes it's shuffled through with the rest of the paper. To me, this is very important because I've got a new car customer who has never bought pre-owned before, always bought new cars, was shocked when they came into a Toyota store to look at a brand new hybrid Highlander, and the management and the sales team got together with the customer and says, we don't have any of those that are coming in that aren't already sold, and we can't see down the run sheet for 6 months down the road. We may be able to trade another dealership for this and try to bring it in, but the chances that they don't already have it sold are probably 100%. So now I've got a consumer that says, well, what's my next option? And for a new car specific customer, the next option is a car that is next to new, which is Toyota certified pre-owned used vehicles. Toyota is the #1 seller of CPO, certified pre-owned brands, for decades. They've sold the most, they protect the most. Last year, we outsold the #2 CPO manufacturer by 141,000 units. So that is gigantic. So let's talk about this for a second. This is a legal document that the customer signs off on and possesses while they have the vehicle. If I spin the paper for #1, there's 160 items on here. There's an extra 15 because not every vehicle has a transfer case or a bed liner. So there's extra in there to check for cars that have unique features. And if it's a hybrid, there's an extra 14 that are exclusively for hybrid. Let's just look at the 160. #1, run and print vehicle history report. So what that is watch this, before the car ever has anything done to it. No mechanical work, didn't wash it, just took it in trade, got it from the auction, came off lease, whatever. The first thing that happens is a Carfax vehicle history report is pulled on the car. If the vehicle doesn't qualify through the guidelines of Carfax, then Toyota will never authorize that car to be a certified car. That is step #1A of the 3-part #1. #2 is, and it's pretty interesting because people don't understand this, the technician will pull codes on the car. The first thing they do is they do a road test on the car. So they're physically going and driving the car down the road, turning all the noise makers off in the car, listening for any vibration and noise, feeling the steering wheel, how does the car track. So before they ever put it in the shop and put it on the lift, they've taken an actual ride in the car, which is exactly what your used car manager did to evaluate the trade of the car. Then they pull a diagnostic. So they plug the car in and look for codes. The interesting thing is, if the car codes, if there is an existing code that's flagged on the car, then the technician gets paid to correct the code. So the average, for anybody watching this, the average money that's spent from the dealership to do the 160 and to settle it all down and to sign it legally is about an hour and a half. If the shop rate was $150 an hour, that's $150 times 1.5 that the used car department paid the service department before the car was ever listed. So it's like the customer calls on the phone and says, hey, I'm thinking about buying this car for my daughter. I was really wondering, could you take about an hour and a half of paid time for one of your technicians and have them look through the vehicle for protection of my daughter? And oh, by the way, could you make that about a 160-point full diagnostic on the car? And then once they've done that, completed that, and done everything that requires, could you pay for that with the used car department funds so I don't have to pay for it? So if you think about it right now, we've already spent hundreds of dollars just purifying the list to make sure the car can be sold as a certified car. Wait, I'm not done. If the car codes, if the car needs tires, if the car needs brakes, then anything the technician flags, they get paid additional money on the labor of if the car needs brakes, they get paid labor to put the brakes on. Gang, I want to back up a second. I don't want to get ahead of this. This is before the consumers ever see the car online. That car has not been certified yet. It is not on the ground. It is not for sale. And now the used car department's already paid for an hour and a half of labor, and now they get hit for labor for brakes and labor for tires. Is that important? Yeah. Brakes stop the car, but brakes also bring back ABS, EBD, brake assist, vehicle stability control, and traction control when you bring the brakes back to next to new. And then when you put tires on a vehicle, the handling characteristics of the car are better. And so that brings about Safety Sense 1, Safety Sense 2, 2.5, 3.0. We've spent millions and millions of dollars over the years making Toyota safer and safer and safer. And what happens is this certification program brings back the safety standards that we've already engineered in the car back to a next to new situation. I mean, so I know most people haven't thought about this. This is a lot, but let's keep going. So they run a TechStream health check, and so we pay them for the 160, and we also pay them for anything they flags. It's like the customer calls on the phone and go, listen, could you have one of your certified technicians look through the whole car, replace, repair, or inspect everything on the car to make the car as next to new as possible, and could you pay for that because I don't want to pay for it? Why is it that people think that as soon as you buy a pre-owned vehicle that you immediately have to pull your credit card out and buy tires and do brakes and have it detailed, and over the first 90 days you've spent a lot? You thought you got a good deal on the car until you really think back, how much money did I spend on the car the first 90 days or the first year? If I would have bought a certified Toyota, the goal of every Toyota dealership is to make sure the first service appointment on a certified used Toyota could be as little as a tire rotation, because some of our oil changes are 10 to 15,000 mile intervals. So no extra money out of my pocket. Do I pay a premium for that car? Why would you not? You're not spending money in service. You're not having to update the car to get it right. You've got 2 factory back warranties that are zero deductible that you didn't have to pay for. It seems like to me that if I can't find that new car that I'm looking for, would a certified car fit the need of the buyers, of the 2 million buyers out there that are struggling out there to try to find the new car? And as the market changes and they get ready to trade that V6 4Runner that goes away years ago, is that car still going to be worth a lot of money because now it becomes a one-off? It's a lot of things to think about. I look at the first 10, and mainly these things are the drive. They go out and they check the engine performance, the engine heat. Does it warm up properly? The brake pedals work. Is the steering wheel centered? Does the car center? And I know I'm going really rote by rote, but this is all done. If we don't explain this, if the customer doesn't do their research, they have no idea what certified means other than the word certified, and maybe it's a better car for me on the pre-owned side. And that's not enough for them to know. And then you go back and you start looking at some of these other things, and we come in, airbags can't ever been deployed, a rust event on the frame. These things completely eliminate the car from certification, and I love this. We check the spare tire and the spare tire jack and accessories, and we make sure that any aftermarket items that shouldn't have been put on the car are removed at the expense of the used car department, not the customer. And then I love this exterior. So I'm trying to buy a new car. I can't find a new car. Do I want that car to look as close to new as possible? Gang, I've seen certified Toyotas that look like nobody ever drove them before. The brilliance of the recon team at Toyota dealerships are bar none the best in the world. So I bought an FJ Cruiser, and I've mentioned that if you follow my YouTube channel. The FJ had scratches all over it. And did I negotiate a better deal for myself because the paint had issues? Yes. But it was an FJ Cruiser. It was white on white. It was exactly what I wanted. There were some upgrades on there that I didn't have to pay for. So if I would have set the vehicle up, it's exactly what I would have paid for to alter the vehicle for what I wanted. So it was a good deal to me, and the dealership discounted the vehicle based upon the paint condition. So I had a friend, not me, that was a genius at recon, brings a buffer over, brings the kit over, and every single surface scratch on that vehicle went away. Now, could I have done that? No way. No way. I could have made the scratches shinier. Hey, KC, those are some shiny scratches. This was like magic. It was like a magic eraser. As he went through the car, I was going like, it looked like a brand new vehicle. It had 100,000 miles on it. I was blown away. This is the talent of what we're producing right now when we have a deficit of new cars to fill the need. If you want to know at the end of this survey, you at the 160, if you look at the last items, can it have a dent? Is there a ding? What about the seat condition? Is the fabric stained? Has the leather got tears on it? All of these things are spec'd out so that we have a legal guideline to bring the vehicle back to next to new. There is an answer for everybody looking for a car right now. I'll be honest with you. If you're a new car buyer, you love new cars and you love the new changes in technology. You just do. So right now, you need a car. I don't know what your condition is. Maybe you've got a 2-door car and now you're having a family, you need a 4-door car, and you can't find the car that you want new, but there's a Camry XSE that's 1 year old, and it is brilliant. It's got low miles on it, and it looks like a brand new car. So in the interim time, you buy the certified car. When you come back out of that, the hybrid technology is going to be better. And I'll say one thing about electric cars right now, because every manufacturer is making a decision here. I have a cell phone. I have a computer. I have a tablet. It seems like the moment you buy your computer, your laptop, the moment you walk out of the store, it's already past its prime. It's already antiquated because the next one does something better. The battery lasts longer, it's faster, and I really believe in the electrification of the car. Look at Toyota. We are the most electrified vehicle on earth, and we use a hybrid technology which uses blends of power, fuel, and electricity. Are the electric cars of today going to be powered the same way 5 years and 10 years from now? If it goes the way of the cell phone and the laptop, the brilliant changes in the electrification of cars are going to make cars go longer, easier to charge. The batteries are going to be less toxic for disposal because the money is being forced in. When money is forced into something, it just gets better. So if I buy an electric car right now, a car that's electrified, could the technology be way better 5 years from now? It's interesting as you see the markets change. There is availability of Toyota pre-owned vehicles out there. And there are participating Toyota stores out there that are certifying Toyotas for the protection of their clients. PK52, the Saturday morning meeting.